Good evening, geometry students. We're going to talk about parallel lines cut by a transversal. And notice I've already got them color-coded to what we're going to do. So on number 1, angle 1 and 130 degrees form a linear pair because both angles make line R. As a result, linear pairs are supplementary, so 180 minus 130 gives us that angle 1 is 50 degrees. So next we move over to angle 2. And if at all possible, we try to use the original. So 130 degrees and measure of angle 2 are in the exact same position but on a different intersection. And since those lines are parallel, this causes us to have corresponding angles, and those angles are congruent. So there we have 130 degrees. And don't forget to show your work. So on 1 we said linear pair, and on number 2 we said those were corresponding. So on to number 2. We see the 79 degrees right over here, and then measure of angle 1. Both of those angles are outside the parallel, so that tells me exterior. And compared to the transversal, they are on opposite sides, so that tells me those are alternate. So we have alternate exterior angles, and those angles are congruent, so measure of angle 1 should also be 79 degrees. Now number 2, I don't see a relationship directly with the 79 and the 2, but I see that 1 and 2 form a linear pair. So as a result, these two angles should equal 180 degrees, and 180 minus 79 is 101 degrees, and that is linear pair. Alright, finally number 3. So line QT gives us the transversal, and I see that 76 and 1 are on opposite sides of the transversal, but they're both inside of the parallels. So that tells me it's alternate interior. And since they're alternate interior angles, sorry, let me clean that up just a little bit. So since they're alternate interior angles, we have the relationship of congruency. Since they are congruent, they're going to be the same with 76 degrees. And finally, we move over to angle 2. Well, this time the two angles are on the same side of the transversal while being inside. So that's going to be same side and since they're both inside, same side interior. And same side interior are supplementary angles, which means it adds up to 180 degrees. So 180 minus 119 should give us 61 degrees for angle 2. And on to the last question. So we've tied a zip line from the tree to this post, and then the cable is strung between the two. If the zip line at right has one end of the cable attached to the tree and the other is attached to the post parallel to the tree, big key, parallel, what is the measure of angle 1? Well, if we have that the tree and the post are parallel, these two angles are both inside the parallel lines, which tells us that those are interior angles of some sort. And since they're on opposite sides of the transversal, which would be the zip line, we have alternate interior angles. And since they're alternate interior angles, measure of angle 1 should be the exact same as the 115 because alternate interior angles are congruent. So hopefully you guys find this helpful, and good luck on your quizzes.